1 Chronicles chapter 27, Military and Civil Organization. This is the census of the sons of Israel, the heads of families, the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and other officers who served the king in all that referred to the divisions, each division consisting of 24,000 men that were on duty for a month, each month of the year. For the first month, Jeshobim, son of Zabdiel, had charge of a division of 24,000 men. He was a descendant of Perez and was chief of all the officers of the division. For the second month, Dodai the Ahohite had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the third month, Benaiah son of Jehoiada the chief priest had charge of a division of 24,000 men. Benaiah, who was champion of the 30, was overseer for the 30 and for his division. Amizabad was his son. For the 4 months, Asahel, the brother of Joab, his son Zebadiah, succeeded him. He had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the fifth month, Shamhuth the Israelite had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 6th month, Ira son of Ikesh of Tekoa had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 7th month, Helez the Pilonite and Ephraimite had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 8th month, Sibbecai of Husha, a Zerahite, had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 9th month, Abiezer of Anathoth, a Benjaminite, had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 10th month, Mahariah of Netophah, a Zerahite, had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 11th month, Benaiah of Pirathon, an Ephraimite, had charge of a division of 24,000 men. For the 12th month, Heldai from Netophah of Othniel had charge of a division of 24,000 men. Overseers of the tribes of Israel, Eleazar, son of Zikri, was chief officer for the Reubenites, Shephatiah, son of Makkah, for the Simeonites, Hashabiah, son of Kemuel, for the Levites, Zadok for the Aaronites, Elihu, one of David's brothers, for the Judeans, Omri, son of Michael, for the Issacharites, Ishmaiah, son of Obadiah, for the Zebulunites, Jeremoth, son of Azriel, for the Naphtalites, Hoshea, son of Asaziah, for the Ephraimites, Joel, son of Pedaiah, for the half-tribe of Manasseh, Edo, son of Zechariah, for the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Jaasiel, son of Abner, for the Benjaminites, Azarel, son of Jeroham, for the Danites. These were the overseers of the tribes of Israel. David took no census of those who were 20 years old and under, since the Lord had promised to make Israel as numerous as the stars of the heavens. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began a census, but he did not finish it, for God punished Israel because of these census. The final figures were never recorded in the official records of King David. Overseer of the king's storerooms, Asmaveth, son of Adiel. Overseer of the stores in provincial towns, villages, castles, Jonathan, son of Uzziah. Overseer of the agricultural workers employed on the land, Ezri, son of Shelub. Overseer of the vineyards, Shimei of Ramah. Overseer of those in the vineyards who look after the wine cellars, Zabdi of Shepham. Overseer of the olives and sycamores in the lowlands, Baal-Hanan of Gedar. Overseer of the stores of oil, Joash. Overseer of cattle in pasture at Sharon, Shitrai of Sharon. Overseer of cattle in the valleys, Shaphat, son of Adlai. Overseer of camels, Obil the Ishmaelite. Overseer of donkeys, Jediah of Meronoth. Overseer of flocks, Jaziz the Hagrite. All these were overseers of King David's property. Jonathan, David's uncle, was a skillful adviser and scribe. He and Jehiel, son of Hakmoni, was tutors of the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselor. Hushai the Archite was the friend of the king. Jehoiada, son of Benaiah, and Abiathar succeeded Ahithophel. Joab was commander of the king's armies. 1 Chronicles chapter 28, David's instructions for the temple. David held a meeting in Jerusalem for all the officials of Israel, the overseers of the tribes, and the officials in the royal service, the commanders of thousands, the commanders of hundreds, the overseers of all the property and livestock of the king and his sons, together with the palace officials, leading soldiers and important men. Then King David got up and said, "My brothers and my people, listen to me. I had set my heart on building a settled home for the ark of the covenant of the Lord as a footstool for our God. I have made preparations for building, but God has said to me, 'You are not to build a temple for my name, for you have been a man of war and have shed blood.' The Lord, the God of Israel, chose me and my descendants to rule Israel forever. He chose Judah for leader, my family within the tribe of Judah, and of my father's sons he was pleased to make me king of all Israel. Of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many, he has chosen my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the Lord over Israel. He said to me, 'Solomon your son is the man to build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be a son to me, and I will be a father to him. I will make his kingdom last forever if he continues to obey carefully all my laws and commands as he does now.' So now in the sight of all Israel and of the assembly of the Lord, and in the hearing of our God, I tell you to observe and meditate on all the commandments of the Lord your God, so that you may possess this prosperous land and leave it to your children after you as an inheritance forever. And you, Solomon my son, know the God of your father, serve him with an undivided heart and a willing mind, for the Lord knows all our thoughts and desires. If you seek him, he will let you find him, but if you turn away from him, he will abandon you forever. Realize at this moment that the Lord has chosen you to build a house for him as his sanctuary. Be strong and set to work." David gave his son Solomon the plans for the portico, the buildings, the treasuries, the upper rooms, the inner apartments, and the room where the mercy seat would be. He also gave him a description of all he had in mind for the courts of the Lord's house, all the surrounding apartments, the treasuries of God's house, and the treasuries of votive offerings. His plans for the orders of priests and Levites, the liturgical duties in the Lord's temple, and for all the articles to be in the service of the Lord's house. He instructed him about how much silver and gold was to be used for making the utensils, the gold bullion for the golden lampstands and their lamps, the silver bullion for the silver lampstand, for the lampstand and its lamps according to the requirements for each lampstand, gold bullion for the tables on which the rolls of bread was set, for each of these tables, the silver for the silver tables, the forks, the sprinkling bowls, basins of pure gold, the gold bullion for the bowls for each of the bowls, the bullion of refined gold for the altar for incense. He gave him the plans for the chariot of the golden cherubim with wings outspread covering the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All these contained in the plan drawn according to the instructions which the Lord himself gave him to carry out. Then David said to his son Solomon, "Be strong, stand firm, be fearless, be determined and set to work, because the Lord God my God is with you. He will not fail you or abandon you before you have finished all the work to be done for the house of the Lord. Here are the orders of priests and Levites for all the duties of the house of God. Every willing man of any aptitude will help you in all this work. The officials and all the people are entirely at your command. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, Offering at the Temple. Then King David said to the whole assembly, Solomon my son, whom the Lord has chosen, is still young and inexperienced, and the work is great. This palace is not for mortals, but for the Lord God. With all my means I have provided for the house of my God, adding gold to gold, silver to silver, bronze to bronze, iron to iron, wood to wood, onyx, inlaid stones, colored and striped stones, precious stones of every kind, masses of alabaster. What is more, the gold and the silver that I have in my own treasury, I give out of love for the temple of my God. Above what I have provided already for the holy temple, 115 tons of the finest gold, gold of Ophir, 265 tons of pure gold for plating the walls of the buildings. Whatever gold you have, whatever silver, or workmanship of the craftsman's hand, which will each of you offer it to the Lord today. Then the heads of families, the officials for the tribes of Israel, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and those who managed the king affairs, gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. Those who had precious stones brought them to Jehiel the Gershonite for the treasury of the Lord's house. The people rejoiced at what had been given so readily, since their gifts to the Lord had been made wholeheartedly. King David too was filled with joy. David's prayer of praise. In the sight of the whole assembly, David blessed the Lord and said, May you be blessed, Lord God of Israel, our ancestor, forever and ever. Yours, Lord, is the greatness, the power, splendor, length of days, glory, for all that is in the heavens and on the earth is yours. Yours is the sovereignty forever. O Lord, you are supreme ruler over all. Riches and honor go before you, and you are ruler of all. In your hand lies strength and power. You are the one who gives greatness and strength to all. At this time, our God, we give you thanks. We praise the splendor of your name. For who am I, and what is my people to have received all that we give you back now? All comes from you. What we have received from your own hand we have given to you. For we are strangers before you, settlers only, as all our ancestors were. Our days on earth passed like a shadow, and there is no hope beyond. Lord our God, all this wealth that we have brought together to build a house for your holy name comes from your hand. All is yours. O my God, I know that you examine the heart and delight in honesty, and in honesty of heart I have willingly given all this. And now with joy I have seen your people here offer their gifts willingly. O Lord God of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, keep such thoughts in the hearts and minds of your people forever, and direct their hearts toward you. Give Solomon my son a heart determined to keep your commandments, your decrees, your statutes. May he practice them all, and build this palace for which I have made preparations. Then David said to the whole assembly, Now bless the Lord your God. And the whole assembly blessed the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and went on their knees to give honor to the Lord and to the king. The following day the Israelites offered sacrifices and burnt offerings to the Lord, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, together with their wine offerings, as well as many sacrifices for the whole of Israel. They ate and drank that day in the Lord's presence with great joy. Solomon anointed king. Then they made Solomon, son of David, king a second time, and anointed him to rule over them in the name of the Lord, and anointed Zadok as priest. Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord in place of David his father. He prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. All the officials, all the champions, and even all the sons of King David swore fidelity to King Solomon. The Lord exalted Solomon greatly in the eyes of all Israel, and gave him a glorious reign such as had not been enjoyed by any king over Israel before him. David's reign, a summary. David, son of Jesse, had reigned over the whole of Israel. His reign over Israel had lasted 40 years. He had reigned in Hebron for 7 years and in Jerusalem for 33 years. He died at a good old age, having enjoyed life, riches, and honor. Then his son Solomon succeeded him. The history of King David, from first to the last, can be found in the records of Samuel the prophet, the records of Nathan the prophet, and the records of Gad the prophet. These records tell how he ruled, how powerful he was, and all the things that happened to him, to Israel, and to the surrounding kingdoms. Job chapter 19. Job's fifth reply. This is what Job said. How long will you torment me, crush me with your words? 10 times now you have reviled me, you have attacked me shamelessly. If indeed I am at fault, I alone am concerned with it. If you want to gloat over me and use my humiliation as argument, know then that God has treated me unfairly and surrounded me with torment. Though I cry injustice, I am not heard. Though I cry for help, though I call for help, it is in vain. He has blocked my way to prevent me from passing. He has shrouded my path and made it dark. He has stripped me of honor and removed the crown from my head. On every side he tears me down till I am gone, and uproots my hope like a tree. He directs his anger against me and counts me as his enemy. Against me his troops build a siege ramp, and around my tent they encamp. He has distanced me from my brothers, completely estranged me from my friends. My kinsfolk and companions have gone away. The guests in my house have forsaken me. My maidservants count me as a stranger. They look upon me as an alien. I summon my servant, but he does not answer, even when I plead with him. To my wife my bread is offensive. To my own brothers I am loathsome. Even little children ridicule me. Come, let us make fun of him. All my intimate friends detest me. Those I love have turned against me. I have become skin and bone, and have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Have pity on me, my friends, for the hand of God has struck me. Why do you hound me as God does? Will you never have enough of my flesh? Oh, that my words were written or engraved in a monument, or recorded on lead with an iron tool, or engraved forever on rock. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he at last will take his stand on the earth. I shall see my advocate by my side, and in my flesh I shall see God. With my own eyes I shall see him, I and not another. How my heart yearns. If you say we will pursue him, let us find a charge against him. Be afraid of the sword yourselves when wrath is inflamed against wrong. You will know there is judgment. Acts chapter 7 verse 22 to 43. So Moses was instructed in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. He was mighty in word and deed, and when he was 40 years old, he decided to visit his brothers the Israelites. When he saw one of them being ill-treated, he defended and avenged the oppressed man by striking down the Egyptian. He thought his king's folks would understand that God was using him to liberate them, but they did not understand. On the following day he came to them as some of them were fighting and tried to reconcile them, saying, "Friends, you are brothers. Why do you hurt each other?" At that moment the one who was injuring his companion pushed Moses aside, saying, "Who appointed you as our leader and judge? Do you want to kill me as you killed the Egyptian yesterday?" When Moses heard this, he fled and settled as an alien in the land of Midian, where he had 2 sons. After 40 years, an angel appeared to him in the wilderness near Mount Sinai in the flame of a burning bush. Moses was astonished by what he saw, and as he approached to look at it, he heard the voice of the Lord. "I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses was filled with fear and did not dare to look at it. Then the Lord said to him, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. I have seen the affliction of my people in Egypt, and have heard them weeping, and I have come down to free them. And now come, I am sending you back to Egypt." This is the same Moses whom they rejected, saying, "Who appointed you as our leader and judge?" God sent him as leader and liberator with the assistance of the angel who appeared to him in the bush. He led them out, performing signs and wonders in Egypt, at the Sea of Reeds, and in the desert for 40 years. This Moses is the one who said to the Israelites, "God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your own people." He is the one who was in the assembly in the desert with the angel who spoke to him on Mount Sinai and with our ancestors, and he received the living words to give to us. But our fathers refused to obey him. They rejected him, and in their hearts turned back to Egypt, saying to Aaron, "Make us gods to lead us, since we do not know what has happened to that Moses who led us out of Egypt." It was then that they fashioned a calf, offered sacrifices to this idol, and rejoiced in the work of their hands. So God turned away from them and gave them over to the worship of the stars of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. "O house of Israel, did you offer to me burnt offerings and sacrifices for 40 years in the desert? No, you carried instead the tent of Moloch and the star of the god Rephan, images you made to worship. So I will send you into exile further than Babylon." Our fathers had the tent of testimony in the desert, as God had directed Moses to build it according to the pattern he had seen.